What up, YouTube? Heretic here with another Mega Evolution based deck profile here from the brand new Roaring Skies set. And so this should be a fun one to kind of throw out there. Today we're going to be looking at Mega Latios, which is really just one gigantic sniper. For a water, a psychic, and a colorless, he discards 2 energy attached to himself, which can be a double dragon energy, which is kind of nice, and does 120 damage to any one Pokemon on your opponent's board, active or benched. So that's kind of neat. So we're going to start out with his line. For Latios-EX, we run 2 of the Plasma Freeze ones. I'll get into that here as to why in a bit. I also run one of the new ones that can do 40 damage on the first turn, even if you go first, for 1 Psychic with Fast Raid. I don't condone this attack's existence. I don't like it. I feel that it's something that shouldn't be in the game, but it is, so we might as well make use of it, especially against like Eggs decks and stuff like that, where they're going to start out with low HP basics. Colorless Rayquaza decks that run the Altaria, you know, can start out with a Swablu, just kind of stuff like that. And his second attack is pretty irrelevant for the most part, as you're probably not going to want to have to put 4 energies on something like this. So 3 Latios, and then 3 Mega Latios, and as I told you, you know, he's the 120 damage snipe, 220 HP, and a free retreat to boot. Kind of neat if you use his attack and you can have him jump back to the bench if you can't recharge him right away. That's kind of cool, I think. And then I was looking at things that snipe like this, and I was thinking, you know, there's one thing that I would want to pair that with, I guess, right now, and that's bats. So, although, again, I'm not a huge fan of the Crobat line right now because I've lost to it enough times to be irritated, we are going to go ahead and align this up with the Crobat line from Phantom Forces. 4 Zubats. These should be Free Flight Zubats, probably from Plasma Storm. I don't have those right now. Of course, this one does have 50 HP, so he would survive a fast raid unless there was, like, say, a Muscle Band or a Laser. But alas, I'd still say Free Flight Zubats. And then, of course, 4 Goldats. When you play him from your hand, to evolve Zubat, you get to drop 20 damage on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and then 3 Crobats, because I just feel like in testing I realized 4 Crobats was a little bit of overkill, although there are plenty of players who do like 4 Crobats, so just kind of that and a space thing in this case. And these guys can also attack for some bench damage as well. Free retreat's always nice. Everything here has got, you know, if you count the free flight ability, which may or may not be relevant in this deck. Otherwise, you know, you pretty much have free retreaters on the board. The other reason I like the Plasma Freeze Latios is because his attack does 150 damage for 3 energies, the same cost that Mega Latios uses to snipe for 120. He discards all of his energy instead of just 2, but hitting for 150, you could use Golbat or Crobat to snipe 20 or 30 damage onto whatever your opponent has active or something on the bench before you Lysander it up, and then just hit it for 150 and you're hitting 170, 180, whatever, you know, to KO a non-Mega Evolved EX, which is pretty good in my opinion. So that's our Pokemon lineup. Supporters, we're going to run 4 Sycamores like always. I know we run a lot of evolutions, and chances are we'll be tossing them at times, but that's why we run Trump Card and a whole bunch of Versus Seekers like pretty much any deck does. And then we're going to play 3 Ends. The 4th one was dropped for the same reason as a couple other cards, really just due to space and because I wanted to add like stuff like Acrobikes to kind of speed it up. And then we got some one-of supporters here. We got Colress, Lysander's Trump Card, and AZ. And I like AZ because while Super Scoop Up requires a flip and Scoop Up Cyclone eats up your A-Spec spot, AZ, I mean, granted it is a supporter, will give you that kind of luxury. You don't get like the energy and stuff back, but you do get your Pokemon back, and with bats, typically that's really all that matters because you're not usually attaching anything there. And then for stadiums, we run 3 Silent Labs, and I will talk about this one as well because this card is pretty much mandatory in this deck. It is also the reason we don't run Shaman or Jirachi-EX. When I refer to Shaman, of course, the new one. And that is because, you know, Silent Lab, you can kind of go the counter route and just bring stuff like that down. And also because a single Mr. Mime with Bench Barrier just absolutely destroys this entire deck. I mean, at that point, you're losing your big attack, being able to snipe for that 120 damage. And this guy likes to eat Shaman EX for breakfast. But, or ideally breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because that would be 3 Shamans, and that would be 6 prizes. But, nonetheless, bad jokes aside, Mr. Mime, you know, we don't know how many people are really going to run that, but if someone, you know, you go paired up against that opponent who does, that will single-handedly screw the entire deck. And as I said, this also gives you the ability to counter stuff like Shaman from using its ability, you know, slow some decks down. And it is also one of the reasons why you could make the case for Zubat for running the Free Flight versus the 50 HP, because this will get rid of Free Flight. However, I would still probably run the Free Flighters in case you open with one. You know, you probably want to get it out of there. But yes, 3 Silent Labs. Again, I wanted to play 4. This thing is, due to the Acrobikes, this is a bit cramped for space. They'll be easy to say drop them, but they really do add a nice bit of consistency as far as speed goes. 4 Versus Seekers to get supporters back. Yeah, I feel like this is, you know, this is pretty much becoming the norm, is 3 to 4 Versus Seekers in just about every deck. And since we do have these 4 Acrobikes here, which can help us drop cards in the discard pile at an accelerated rate, not quite as much as Battle Compressor, but it gets cards into our hand as well, which is very beneficial. Item-based draw is always good, and I personally really like this card right now. I know a lot of people have been testing it. Some people are kind of on the fence about it from what I hear. It's done nothing but wonders for me as far as my playtesting goes. I definitely feel like I got that one right with the Primal Clash countdown when I put it at number 2. Going on, 3 Mega Turbos. With a Mega Turbo and a Double Dragon Energy, you could charge up a Mega Latios from 0 to 3 energies in 1 turn. That's kind of ridiculous if you ask me. It also helps you recover from stuff like Crushing Hammer a little quicker if you're not under Toad Lock. Just all around a really good card. And again, Acrobite can help put energy in the discard pile when you reveal when you look at your 2 cards to kind of coincide with that. We do run 2 Super Scoop Ups, despite the coin flip. Again, this was supposed to probably be a higher number, like say 3, but being crammed for space, stuff like Mega Turbo, and then of course running the 4 Acrobikes for speed to get set up just really seems like I'd rather try to get myself set up as opposed to have more times to scoop up my Crobats when we can just trump card and try it all over again. And then for our ball engine, we run 2 Ultra Ball and 2 Repeat Ball. Ultra Ball is pretty standard. Repeat Ball, really useful in bat decks in general, Crobat based, or decks that run the Crobat line. And you know, just because all of our Pokemon, our evolutions and everything included, everything is at least 3 copies. Because you can have one of the 2 Latioses out and search the other one because the name is the same, so just a lot of synergy there, and I feel like it's a pretty solid card for this deck. And then we round that off with, not a ball card, but 1 Computer Search. Kind of goes in the same vein, except it can get us anything. Also, your 1 real way to search Double Dragon Energy, which, if searching Double Colorless is any hint, it's pretty useful. Then we got 3 Latios Spirit Links, of course, for the Mega Latios line. And then we run 4 Double Dragon Energy, 3 basic Psychic, and 1 basic Water. For the Crobat line, it really doesn't matter what type of energy you use if you want to attack with it. So, I mean, you just kind of go with the Psychic Energy. I mean, I guess, the first attacks on both Latios-EXs go with Psychic as their one-colored energy. Of course, Fast Raid, really the key one there. Double Dragon can provide any of this stuff. We do run the one basic water, again, you know, like same reason you run the one basic lightning in the Dragon Mega Rayquaza deck, because if you do hit something like Aegis/EX, I'm sorry, but I would like to kill that thing before it becomes a problem. And if I have a double dragon, even if I discard it, I can't touch that. So, again, the one water, much like the one lightning. There are definitely some cards I would like to fit in here, but it's just really just crammed for space, and I'm not sure if I wanted to cut the bat line down or maybe just try to play it with something else, you know. If Silent Lab, you know, of course, you know, wasn't... If Mr. Mime didn't give that thing such a run, or maybe you could try to, you know, do a stadium split. I do also think that maybe something like Frozen City, or the more likely scenario being Team Magma's Secret Base, could definitely be a possibility here. A Magma's base, you know, plus a Crobat line or a pair of Golbats could definitely put Sonic Ace in the range to where it one-shots on those big EXs. And like I said, this thing eats Shamans for breakfast. So, yep, that is Mega Latios-EX, and I'm Heretic, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.